fought in World War II. You served. You fought. Did you see any action?
A little.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for various celebrities who actually saw combat or some type of military action in a war.
If we could just get the poor kids off the streets.
When conflict came knocking, these stars fought in the theater of war. Learn about the struggles of war with up to 32 players in the USA Battleground scenario for Conflict of Nations, a free online PvP strategy game that brings your tactical skills to life. Assemble your army with modern artillery like fighter jets, tanks, nuclear submarines, and stealth and special forces units. Declare war or build alliances. The choice is yours. Engage in epic battles with up to 128 players and strive for global domination, or work to reunite America. Build your army in states like Texas or California, or command the armies of nations like Canada and Mexico. Victory depends on your military might and strategic prowess. Play seamlessly on PC and mobile with a single account. And for a limited time, get an exclusive gift of 13,000 gold and a month of premium subscription for free by clicking my link in the description. But hurry, this offer lasts only 30 days. Download Conflict of Nations now and fight for your freedom.
Number 10. James Blunt. Nothing in James Blunt's early life signaled a career in music. In school, he excelled at the likes of physics and chemistry, and he later studied aerospace manufacturing engineering in college. He then served time with a regiment of the British Army called the Lifeguards. Blunt went on to serve in the Kosovo War, carrying out aerial reconnaissance and choosing targets for bombings.
I'm not having my soldiers being responsible for starting World War III.
He was also a part of the so-called Pristina airport incident, which had the potential of kickstarting World War III.
Now, you saved the world from World War III, which is good.
While serving in the Kosovo War, Blunt would play the guitar for locals, signaling his imminent ascension as a world-famous pop star.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful, it's true.
Number 9. Rod Serling. Rod Serling is well known as the creator, head writer, and presenter of The Twilight Zone.
He is built out of flesh, and because he has a mind. Mr. Romney Wordsworth, who will draw his last breaths in The Twilight Zone.
The show debuted in October 1959 when Serling was 34 years old. 16 years earlier, he was fresh out of high school and serving in the U.S. Army. Serling was assigned to the 511th Parachute Infantry Regiment and saw combat in the Philippines during World War II.
Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace.
His airborne division served as light infantry during the Battle of Leyte, which resulted in an Allied victory. He also served during the Battle of Manila, which lasted 1 month between February and March of 1945. Serling was awarded numerous medals for his service, including the Purple Heart.
Like some goose-stepping predecessors, he searches for something to explain his hunger and to rationalize why a world passes him by without saluting.
Number 8. Shaggy. Born Orville Burrell, Shaggy is an 8-time Grammy nominee as of 2023 and is world famous for singles like Angel, Boombastic, and It Wasn't Me.
You better run fast. But you caught me on the counter. Wasn't me.
His songs are insanely catchy and his unique voice is instantly recognizable. In fact, Shaggy practiced and perfected said voice while serving in the United States Marine Corps. Burrell enlisted in 1988 when he was 20 years old and worked in field artillery with the 10th Marine Regiment. Shaggy served during the Gulf War, which began approximately 2 years after he enlisted.
Been together so long and this could never be wrong.
For his services in the military, Shaggy was eventually promoted to Lance Corporal. He left the military in 1991 and Boombastic was released to enormous success 4 years later.
Bombastic, and it's fantastic. Touch me on me box, she says I'm Mr. Romantic.
Number 7. Charles Bronson. His screen presence was larger than life, and his resume of awesomeness includes roles in Death Wish, The Great Escape, and Once Upon a Time in the West.
You bring a horse for me?
Looks like we're shy of one horse.
As it turns out, though, Charles Bronson was quite the roughneck in real life. He became a decorated World War II vet after serving in the U.S. Air Force for about 3 years. During that time, he saw action as an aerial gunner for a multitude of combat missions. He sustained serious injuries during one operation and found himself wearing the honorable Purple Heart upon his retirement in 1946.
Today I had the funeral for my wife up in Connecticut, and
it was only after his service that Bronson decided to pursue an acting career. Perhaps his military experience is partially to thank for the iconic characters that he would later play.
You think I'm brave because I carry a gun? Well, your fathers are much braver because they carry responsibility.
Number 6. Christopher Lee. This man led one heck of a life.
I was in World War II for 5 years.
Lee's time in the military is worthy of its own movie. He entered World War II at 17 and served during the Winter War with the Finnish Army. He later entered the Royal Air Force and was stationed across Africa.
I gave you the chance of aiding me willingly, but you have elected the way of pain.
He was an intelligence officer in the No. 260 Squadron RAF and completed various air duties, including bombings and ground support. He directly helped in the Allied invasion of Italy, caught malaria 6 times in 1 year, climbed Mount Vesuvius, survived a plane crash, and even quelled a mutiny. He then hunted Nazi war criminals before retiring in 1946. Like we said, one heck of a life. Number 5, Mel Brooks. It's amazing how life works out sometimes. If Mel Brooks' career panned out as he planned, we wouldn't have gotten some of the funniest movies ever made, and Brooks could have been just another psychologist. Brooks hoped to study psychology at Brooklyn College, but was drafted into World War II at the age of 18.
The Army sent me to the Army Specialized Training Program, sent me to VMI. When I was 18, I was in the regular Army.
He was placed in the Army and defused landmines with the 1104th Engineer Combat Battalion.
The Army said, well, since he studied engineering, we'll put him in the combat engineers.
He even saw action in the Battle of the Bulge, which is the 3rd deadliest battle in American history. It was after the war that Brooks got into comedy, finding work as a TV writer and performer at various Catskills resorts.
I heard a little applause. That was my World War II experience.
Number 4, Alec Guinness, a widely acclaimed actor. Alec Guinness enjoyed decades worth of success and is perhaps best known for playing Obi-Wan Kenobi in the original Star Wars.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan. Now that's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Guinness was an accomplished Shakespearean actor before serving in World War II.
Put some fire on that crew. Davis, DiBernardo, Young, Bolt, get ready.
During his time in the war, Guinness was a temporary lieutenant who commanded landing crafts during Operation Husky. This was the official name for the Allied invasion of Sicily, which took place throughout July and August of 1943.
The Sicilians do not know or care that Mussolini has bellowed that the Allies will be defeated at the water's edge.
He later returned from the war and continued acting in various Shakespeare productions. In 1953, he uttered the very first line of the now famous Stratford Festival in Ontario, Canada. Number 3, Clark Gable.
I like privacy when I retire. Yes, I'm very delicate in that respect. Prying eyes annoy me.
The King of Hollywood enjoyed one of the most storied careers in movie history, starring in classic films like It Happened One Night and Gone with the Wind.
What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
He was a major star before the outbreak of World War II, and in 1942, Gable enlisted in the Army. His reputation as a screen legend preceded him, and he was assigned to film a recruitment video for aerial gunners. While in England with the 351st Bomb Group, Gable took part in various combat missions and was nearly killed in action. With the influence of the movie studios behind him, Gable was subsequently placed on inactive duty and was personally discharged in 1944 by future President Ronald Reagan. Gable's video Combat America was released in January of 1945.
Nothing you can do about getting back into combat?
Number 2, Oliver Stone. This filmmaker has an intense fascination with American history and politics, and he made a trilogy of films detailing the Vietnam War.
I think in front of the men, it's necessary for me to give the orders.
Yes, sir.
These films were Platoon, Born on the 4th of July, and Heaven and Earth.
The Americans came one day to look at our family bunker. They think we're going inside.
Stone had a personal interest in the Vietnam War, having served in it himself. Stone volunteered for combat in 1967 at the age of 20 and enlisted in the Army. He undertook many roles during his time in Vietnam and received numerous awards. These include the Combat Infantry Badge, the Bronze Star, and 2 Purple Hearts. After leaving the Army, Stone studied film at New York University and graduated in 1971, which helped put him on his now historic path.
But every time we ambushed the government soldiers, twice as many came back.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Paul Newman earned the Navy Good Conduct Medal serving in World War II.
Who's the best lawman?
Best? How? You mean toughest?
Michael Caine served in the Korean War with the Royal Fusiliers.
Some men aren't looking for anything logical, like money. They can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with.
Ed Wood served in the Pacific Theater during World War II.
Mr. Wells,
Is it all worth it?
It is when it works.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Jimmy Stewart.
The swearing in of the Senator designate is the order of business. The gentleman will raise his right hand. Do you solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States?
This legendary performer was as much a military pilot as he was an actor. Stewart had a long military career, serving with the Army between 1941 and 1947, and with the Air Force from 47 to 68. In fact, Stewart was the first movie star to enlist in the Second World War, having proudly come from a long line of soldiers.
You know what the 3 most exciting sounds in the world are?
Uh-huh. Breakfast is served, lunch is served, dinner...
No. Anchor chains, plane motors, and train whistles.
In 4 years, Stewart rose from private to colonel and later to brigadier general and earned both the Air Medal and the Distinguished Flying Cross. Stewart remained in the military until he was forced to retire at 60. He was awarded the United States Air Force Distinguished Service Medal for his valiant career.
Is it all over?
I'm afraid so, Rupert.
Oh, what a pity. In another moment, you might have been strangling each other instead of a chicken.
What do you make of these celebrities' actions? Let us know in the comments below.
When the Russians had run out of food and water, they came back and asked us if they could have food and water, and we said, sure, if you share the airport.
Conflict of Nations is a free online PvP strategy game happening in modern global warfare where you can strategize on a global and local scale. Click on the link in the description to get 13,000 gold and 1 month of premium subscription for free. Offer only available for 30 days, so don't waste time. Click my link in the description, choose your country, and fight your way to victory.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.